Okay, welcome. Today we are reflecting on your analytical essay, and we're looking at a specific AP prompt. And there are going to be 4 videos that go with the same idea. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm Miss Kelsey Bull, and here's our table of contents. Okay, so video 1, we're going to talk about the organization of your analytical essay. Video 2, we're going to talk about the indicator critical thinking. Video 3, sentence variety addiction. And video 4, mechanics and revision. Okay, so today we are focused on video 1, organization. Okay, each tutorial agenda looks like this. First, we'll review the College Board rubric and prompt. Second, we'll review the indicators, okay? Today, we're focused on organization, so we'll talk about what it means to get a 9 in organization versus an 8, a 7, a 6, and so on, okay? And then we'll review the indicator of focus, specifically in terms of the one that we're going to be looking at in that video. Then I will do a model for you to show you my thinking, and then you will have an independent task, and then you will do your own reflection. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're looking at today is the prompt from 2006, and that is question 3, significant journeys. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and pause the video for now and read through this rubric to make sure you understand what a 9 versus an 8 versus a 7, etc. look like. Okay, so go ahead and pause. Now, since you've read those, what you want to do is you want to look at a student sample and you want to ask yourself, is this a higher or an upper level essay, or is this a lower level essay? If you answer it's a higher level, that is 5 to 9. Okay, if it's a lower level essay, you're looking at a 0 to a 4. Okay, so if you answer higher, you're going to determine where in the higher range. If it's lower, where in the lower. Okay, so as you can see, we're looking at a physical journey. Okay, and it contributing to the meaning of the work as a whole. Remember, when we say meaning of the work as a whole, we're referring to the theme. What are the implications of the text? What is the lesson learned? Okay, and then, of course, using apt and specific examples. Okay, these essays need not be flawless, but they analyze literary work. Okay, so that's important. All right, so let's go ahead. So today, we are again, of the 5 indicators, we today are looking at organization. If you do not have organization, everything else will suffer. So that's why we're starting with it as video 1. Okay, so on organization, when we say organization, how do I get an 8 or a 9? Is your writing clear, logical, fluid? Does it follow the format with artful transition? Is it focused on your thesis? Okay, so in order to have excellent organization, when you first see the prompt, what steps do you take? You first do your TAP strategy. What's the topic? What's it asking me to analyze? And what's the point that I'm going to make? After you've done that, you then create your outline. Okay, you're going to have your intro, your thesis, body paragraph 1, 2, however many you need, and then your conclusion. Okay, so it seems very simple. We're going to look at a student example to see exactly what this looks like so that you can see for yourself. Okay, so first, let's look at a student's intro. A central theme in Conrad's Heart of Darkness is a journey, both physical and philosophical, of its narrator, Marlowe. Marlowe's journey by steamer upriver to the inner station, where Kurtz's trading post lies in the heart of the dark African jungle. However, in the process of traveling through the Ivory Trading Company stations deeper into the wilderness, Marlowe increasingly comes into contact with the captain and savagery of mankind when unfettered and empowered. Okay, so looking at this, the first thing we want to do is we want to identify the thesis. Is it clear? Is it logical? Okay, so which sentence in here is the thesis? That is, as it should be, okay, the very last sentence. So we're talking about, however, in the process of traveling through the ivory trading companies, this is the journey here, okay, the travel through. So yes, he's mentioned the journey. He's used that exact language from the prompt. Okay, deeper into the wilderness, Marlowe increasingly comes into contact with the corruption and savagery of mankind when unfettered and empowered. So we can see he already has this organization. He's answered the question. Yes, he's going on a journey. Okay, and what is the point? He increasingly comes into contact with 1, corruption, 2, savagery of mankind. Okay, so it seems like it's clear. Now let's continue and see if he maintains this organization throughout. Okay. Marlowe begins his narrative in the novel by describing how he applied for the job to join the ivory traders of the company in Africa. He starts his journey at the headquarters in Belgium, which is described as a white sepulchre. There we go. Desolate and pale like a tomb. Okay, where is his topic sentence? We see it here. Marlowe begins his narrative in the novel by describing how he applied for the job to join the ivory traders of the company in Africa. Is this a topic sentence? Does it relate back to that thesis? Yes, it does. Okay, by describing how he applied. Begins his narrative. Okay, so this right here is his journey. This is the beginning of his journey. Okay, and then he literally says he starts his journey at the headquarters. Okay, so it's clear, it's fluid, it's logical. Okay, let's move on here. Continuing in body paragraph 1, the paleness of the people in the company is a recurring motif that Marlowe will encounter again in Africa. He describes them as flabby devils. 2 women dressed in black at the company headquarters greet him and send him off, reminiscent of the mythological fates who determine their deaths of men, since those whom the women meet are likely to perish in the dark jungles. This commencement of Marlowe's journey is covered within mood of foreboding and foreshadows the horror he will see at the stations. Okay, so we've already hit on the topic sentence. He has it. He continues on. Is it clear, logical, fluid? Does it follow the format with artful transitions? Okay, he says the paleness of the people is a recurring motif. Right here, we see some evidence. He describes them as flabby devils. We have a specific quotation. Okay, well done. 2 women dressed in black at the company headquarters greet him and send him off, reminiscent of the mythological fates. Okay, excellent. We have definite literary elements here as well that are very focused, okay, and artful in their transition. Then we also have this idea of this recurring motif. Okay, not only does the student give the example, he also very fluidly includes what kind of literary element it is, okay? Determine the deaths of men, since those whom the women meet are likely to perish in the dark jungles. This commencement of Marlowe's journey, okay? So he's explained, okay, the significance of this idea. Then he says, this commencement of Marlowe's journey is covered within mood of foreboding and foreshadows the horror he will see at the stations. Right here, we have that connection back to the thesis, this idea of journey and this mood of foreboding and foreshadowing the horrors. Okay, now let's double check. Is he relating back to that thesis truly and clearly? Let's look at his thesis again. However, in the process of traveling through the ivory trading company's stations deeper into the wilderness, Marlowe increasingly comes into contact with the corruption and savagery of mankind when unfettered and empowered. Okay, does he talk about that? He describes them as flabby devils. Yes, okay, he talks about the savagery here. And of course, in this journey, he talks about how it foreshadows the horrors he will see. Now, let's see if he keeps this up. Does he continue to transition fluidly? Here we go. As Marlowe journeys closer to the inner station, once he reaches Africa, he is surrounded by senseless enslavement of the natives and the brooding patience of idle workers and of nature around him. Okay, right here we have that topic sentence. He continues as Marlowe journeys closer. He doesn't say secondly, right? It's very focused on the thesis. It's very logical. It follows the format with those smooth transitions. He eventually repairs his steamer boat, okay? He goes on, take a second to read that, please. Okay, if you read it, you see, okay, that he goes on to talk about specific examples here. The primordial power of the wilderness around him suggests to him that he is sailing back in time to the night of first ages. We have an excellent piece of evidence here. Notice it's just a small quote, but it's embedded so fluidly, okay, so fluidly. Then he continues with another quote here, and he explains it by explorers who were as power-hungry as the company men had become. Still relating every piece of analysis is back to that thesis, okay, about this savagery. Then at the end here, he says, his journey to Kirch's inner station is a symbolic inner journey as well, casting off the rags of civilized law and propriety and facing his inner darkness with his own stuff. Okay, facing his inner darkness with his own stuff. So he talks again about this journey, okay, casting off the rags of civilized law. Okay, so again, hitting on that savagery, but in a different way. Okay, he's not saying that these people are savages. He's saying casting off the rags of civilized law. He's actually saying the exact opposite. Okay, and then moving right along into the conclusion here. Go ahead and take a second to read that. Marlowe's arrival at his goal is also the climax of the novel in his confrontation with Kurtz. Kurtz was a product of all of Europe's ideals, yet he has now become a culmination of all the suppressed savagery and raw power that the jungle has released in him. What words is he using? Savagery. Pulling back to that thesis. He's not restating it exactly. Okay, he's putting it in new words. Reaching the inner station and confronting Kurtz, Marlowe also comes to a deeper understanding of his own heart of darkness. Okay, these right here, he's hitting on the implications. Why does this matter, right? Okay, with Kurtz's pronunciation upon his life of the whore, Marlowe's journey creates a change within himself and to those he narrates his story to as well. The part that the characters sit in now appears dark. Okay, look at the use of that colon as well. Okay, we're going to hit on sentence structure later. But he doesn't just stop at restating the thesis. He includes what are the implications, a change within himself and to those he narrates the story as well. Okay, those he narrates the story as well. So I want you to take a second. I want you to look at, if you need to review back, go ahead. I want you, of the scoring, okay, I want you to take a minute and write a short answer. What score would you give this student on his organization? Okay, 8, 9, 6, 7, 5, 3, 4. Again, first, is it an upper half or a lower half? Then how can you give evidence of that? Okay? All right, excellent. I hope that helps you a bit on your own organization. And take a minute to reflect. And until next time, see you.